The universe has such a poetic way of making sure that we learn by doing and not just by knowing intellectually. If you haven't picked up this pattern yet, then please do stay and listen to the rest of my story of the events in my life of the last week, because if it hadn't happened to me, I don't think I would have believed it either. Hi, my name is Gillian, and I'm sharing my journey from surviving to thriving to plant seeds of possibility for others. So, a week ago it all started where I was getting the kids ready for school, frantically, always running late as I am, and I heard this water running outside, and I dropped everything, ran outside, only to discover that the water was hot and it was coming out of my geyser. So I gathered, put one and one together and came up with two and realized that my geyser had burst. Moving forward 1 week, a couple of days, and I was in the middle of a work meeting, and we were in load shedding, and about 10 minutes before the power came back on, poof, my fibre just stopped working. I lost connection. I went to the box, and it looked like my battery power unit on the fibre was flashing lights everywhere like a Christmas tree. So I thought that had failed, and then when the power actually came back on and I plugged it into the mains, I realized that it was actually the fibre unit. So I ended up running around for a couple of hours trying to deal with support and trying to figure out if it was just me or everybody else. Fast forward another couple of days to last night. In fact, this is where my week has ended so far, that Liam finally confessed to me that he had left his Kindle at school, and it had already been a week since he had left it there, and he hadn't had the courage to tell me about it. Now, under normal circumstances, and this was the old me, I would have literally just thrown my hands up and gone, seriously? Like, how much more can the universe just throw at me that I just can't cope? I would have been fraught with anxiety. It would have been an absolute disaster, and I would have been short with the kids and angry, and I would have had all of these emotions inside me. But science has proven that if you live at a higher level of consciousness, especially living in gratitude, and that means celebrating every outcome, whether it appears to be good or bad, that you actually influence the probability of things working out in your favor. So I have to learn by doing, right? And so I sat down as I was going through this process and these things just being thrown at me. I was thinking, what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? And let's just start. I'm going to give you some of the examples. I mean, the list really is endless. So firstly, my kid's dad arrived the minute I discovered that the geyser had burst. He walked in the door and arrived to fetch the kids to take them to school. So he helped me find the mains, and we managed to switch it off so we could stem the flow. He then also just clarified for my own peace of mind. He went up onto the roof and he said, right, okay, it's contained within the drip tray, so I could take my time with the insurance company. I have insurance. I emailed them straight away, and they responded within 10 or 15 minutes. The plumbers, when they eventually arrived, they were able to at least make sure that I had water, cold water in the house, until they could replace the geyser the next morning. Because of the nature of my roof outside, they had to take the geyser through the trap door in the passage, and I'm really grateful that it fitted and that they didn't have to cut my ceiling and make the hole bigger. What else was there? Oh, my ceiling had actually been damaged previously, which I just lived with because I don't normally look up there, but they had actually created a bit more damage. So they came and they repaired it. So my ceiling now looks better than it ever did before. Wonderful, right? Can you believe this? While my geyser burst, my heat pump had been dripping. So I assumed the two were related. So the plumbers just said to me, well, we've got to replace your heat pump. Now, a heat pump costs thousands of rands, and it was already 5 years old. So it probably would have given up the ghost in a couple of years' time. So, and my parents live close by. So I was able to go there for a warm shower the next morning. The kids loved it because they got to have a farky aunt, or a funky aunt, as Lily calls it. So we had a giggle about that. And, you know, at the end of the day, a job that was estimated to have cost in the region of 30,000 Rand cost me the excess of 1,500 Rand. So I'm grateful I had insurance. In the situation with the fibre, I'm so grateful I have access in the estate where I live to two clubhouses that offer free Wi-Fi and great coffee. So I ended up spending Friday afternoon there, and I've spent the whole day there as well. Cell C managed to top up my account with data so that I could manage on my cell phone because I was running out of data already. What else? I had a bunch of course content with this course that I've been doing that I've been procrastinating on, and I had it downloaded locally to the laptop. So, you know, I was presented with an opportunity with no more excuses to actually go through the coursework. So I ended up doing that on Friday night, and I got to spend quality time with the kids. There's no Netflix. So we're kind of forced to just figure out and do stuff that doesn't involve TV or iPads or cell phone games or whatever the case is. And then with the Kindle, so that was quite recent. Because I didn't panic, because I didn't go into this state of anger or frustration or, you know, like throwing my toys at the universe, I could calmly think, okay, right, what steps can I take? Right, I can WhatsApp the parents group and see if any of the kids maybe have it and they don't know whose it is. I can email the teachers, same story. If anybody's been holding it until somebody claims it, they might know. Then I got online with Amazon support, and they managed to deregister the device for me. So I was able then to think logically and go through a process rather than just go into a complete state of panic. And you know, when I can sit now and say what I'm grateful for, but the ripple effects of these things, we don't know what this event is going to do in a month to 6-8 months, even longer. You know, Liam potentially made a new friend out of this event out of him losing his Kindle, because one of the kids parents had told him about the message, and he kind of took Liam after the exam today and he said, come, let's go and have a look in the lost property. And yeah, so he might have even made a new friend. You know, we don't know why these things are happening to us, but if we can celebrate it regardless. And the cherry on the cake, you're going to love this one. This, for me, was a real life lesson in learning to live in gratitude rather than just practicing gratitude. And this all culminated at the end, the last day of the 30-day gratitude challenge that I set up on my very first Facebook Live. I mean, you cannot invent that kind of synchronicity. It is absolutely beautiful thing to see. If you have any interest in knowing a little bit more about how you can change the context, or, you know, the way you perceive your life and the events of your life and the circumstances of your life into, you know, a life that you really love and that you can enjoy and look at and go, wow, you know, this was sent to me because I needed it, or it was a lesson that I needed to learn. Whatever the case is, just please pop me a message, either on Messenger, reach out to me on Messenger, or WhatsApp if you've got my number. And all you have to say is love life, and I'll know exactly what you mean, and then we can even set up some time to chat. So I'm grateful for you spending your time with me this evening and taking your precious time to listen. And I hope that this has inspired you to change the way you look at the circumstances of your life. So yours in gratitude. Till next time.